making hay. Here's what sucks. There was like a 15% chance of rain last night. We had hay down. Guess exactly where it rained. Right on the hay. And that farmer, this is all custom harvest stuff, he was sending me videos last night of it pouring down right out here. There's water in the ditch. That's from rain. Oh, all this hay. It's funny though, just like it didn't rain at my parents' house, which isn't far from here. It just rained. It didn't rain up at my house. I haven't been to the farm yet. Still gotta go check some. Oh, this is soaking wet. Like it wasn't a light rain. It was a big rain. I gotta run by and check a Sudan field. There's some Sudan grass. My buddy Brandon was gonna big bale and buy. I have a feeling it got caught in this rain. Even if it got rained on and he doesn't want to buy it, I'm still gonna have him big bale it. I really don't want a whole bunch of small bales of rained on Sudan grass. I would rather, if I'm gonna inventory it, I'd rather just handle the big bales, discount a little bit, and sell it to cattle people. Little bales are just more work. So, anyways, we'll try to get this day. Oh man, let's go see if there's too much rain where the big tractors are. That's what really holds us back. If it rained where we're doing all of our dirt work, they can't run the disc, they can't run the ripper, they can't run the laser. So hopefully, the laser was actually right just there. Let's go see. Man, when the big equipment gets shut down, that really sucks because we're trying to get everything prepped to plant. Let's go see what can run and what can't run. Someone said in a comment, Trevor, put the dates in. I want to know, like, I'm trying to follow along with the weather and what you guys are at. It usually takes like 2 weeks for a video to, I kind of go in spurts where I'll video a whole bunch in like 3 or 4 or like one or 2 weeks. Just make lots and lots of videos. I'm able to, because sometimes I just can't, I don't have the time and I'm just stuck in a position I just can't be videoing. So yeah, I go in spurts. So videos are usually like 2 weeks out. But today, it's actually September 3rd. Ugh, the sun. And it's supposed to be all next week. Today's Saturday. All next week's like 107, 109. So we'll probably hit 110. It's usually a little under its estimation. But yeah. Anyways, that's what week I'm on. What this date is. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Tried to video everything, but I almost need someone to just follow me. I wish Hank was a little older. He could just follow Dad with the camera, right? Oh no, he hasn't quite finished the laser yet. Here's a field he's currently on, which is just on the same road that alfalfa is on, but the dirt will dry out a lot different than the alfalfa does. He might be back in here tomorrow. But what happens if you jump in a field and start lasering when it's got a little too much moisture in it, the top layer of dirt will crust over somewhat like a brownie. Love brownies. It'll crust over like a brownie, and then underneath it will still be wet. And then you have to you can't plant into that crust. And then you got to run a renovator over it, break up the crust. And then sometimes you can just run a mulcher over the top of that. I don't know, it just depends, but it's kind of important not to jump back in a field and start lasering right away. It's tempting though, because the laser makes a lot of dust, the laser leveler. And when you're making all that dust, it can slow down the process because the dust blocks the laser transmitter. So when there's a little bit of moisture, it's kind of nice. You're not making dust. But then then the other thing is it packs the dirt down too tight, which is what also creates that hard crust on top. The big tractor, whatever he's hooked up to, I don't know, but we'll go see. But I don't think it rained as much over there. He might be able to be going. He might not be. I've even put Gonzalo, my truck driver. We've been kind of slow on hauling hay just because of all this rain, and he's driven tractors in Mexico. I asked him, do you want to help out and run a big tractor. Dang it. Just driving on the side of a field. Someone threw a bucket out full of oil and oil filters. That's cool. So he's been driving, helping drive tractors. He comes out at night and comes out about 3 a.m. and drives till 9, then jumps in a semi and helps us haul hay for a couple hours, and he goes home. So he's getting extra hours in, which is good. The good news is the wind didn't blow very hard on the sedan, so it's all still in the windrows, which is good. The bad news is it rained over here as well. So what we'll probably do, he almost bailed it yesterday. He's probably wishing he had, but didn't. So I wonder how underneath. So I need to determine if underneath is probably a little drier. This just has to sit and dry, because if I flip it over too soon, the moisture will go down. So this thick spot, that's dry under there. So it just has to sit and dry. I think today's supposed to be 107 or so, so today will dry it out. But what I'm nervous, what I wonder if I should run my tedder on it, spread it out again, let it dry out. Decisions. Man, I will say, man, I've got a good crew. All day long while I was fighting that squeeze yesterday, I had the dump rake. They were baling hay. They had the dump rake running. The semis were running. The other 2 squeezes were running. And I was able to fight with that squeeze. So, I mean, that's mud. I mean, that's real good news, right? I think it is. Usually, when things are just running all over like that, someone's got to be there running around with them. But I was able to just wrestle that squeeze, and those guys got a lot done, and I did not have to be there. So that's awesome. That's a really good feeling when so much can be going on at one time that I don't have to be there watching it like I used to. So okay, yes, that rain it looks like it just very lightly sprinkled here. Not bad, not enough to really jack with. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, I'm totally wrong. This is wet. But oh man, all that excitement for nothing. This is wet. Oh, but it's still so green. It's gonna be yellow here once that sun comes up. No, dang it. So we cut last week Bermuda grass, and we baled it, and it was pretty green. It turned out pretty good. But and I even said, I'll take the credit for this one. I said, do not cut all of our acres, our Bermuda acres at one time, because every time we cut them at one time, they all get rained on. Let's cut it in half. So we cut it in half. Cut the first half, went up. Just had some moisture, some heavy morning dews. And so the color wasn't awesome, but it was a lot better than anything else. But look at this. See, look, maybe this is just all morning dews, but it could be a mixture of both. Anyways, cut the first half. Just had a heavy dew, so it had pretty decent color. Not awesome, but decent. But then this stuff, look at that deep green, but this is all gonna be bleached out in yellow by the end of the day. Well, this was almost awesome Bermuda grass. Even if it didn't rain over here very much, the moisture that little storm brought with it brought up left us with a real heavy morning dew, and that it's essentially the same thing as a rain. It's gonna just color it. So either way, have I told you guys about my time in Africa? I know I have. Some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. But I went to college with a kid. His dad still does, a hunting safari company. And when I found this out, I asked him, I was like, do you guys ever hire like help for summer, for the season, which happened to be July 1st through December 31st, which worked out perfect for college break. So I got one year I went with him. We flew from Dallas to Tanzania, and I spent a summer there, 3 months working, and it was building camps. It was so cool. I loved it. And I thought about it every single day of my life for 3 years after that. And at the end, that was 2010, 2013, I emailed him. It's like, I really, man, I want to come back. I own a pickup truck. That's it. Like, I don't have a house. They're like, yeah, we'd love to have you back. So, but I wanted to do a full season. Like, we'd love to have you back for as long as you want. So I sold my pickup and got a one-way ticket. Told my dad, I think maybe afterwards I'll backpack around Europe or something. But I was like, man, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, hunting stops December 31st. Like, it's gonna be cold in Europe. But so good thing, like, I didn't have a specific plan, just kind of wing it. But I spent 6 months, really more than that, because because we got out a month early. 6-7 months in the bush of Tanzania, living in tents, boiling water, not bathing. It's like the coolest. Like, we have different seasons in our lives, right? When you're young and you don't have kids and you're able to just run around kind of like a wild person, just, you don't have a care, right? That's one time of your life. Then when you start having kids, you get married, that's another time. Then you have kids, that's different. And then grandkids, I imagine. So, I mean, getting married and having kids has definitely been the coolest time of my life. Like with Henry and Tucker and Nicole, like, I can't compare that to anything. But in the same time, I can't compare that 6 months of just living like a wild animal, essentially, to anything else. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I would go to sleep at night. You could hear like hippos at night. Hippos come out of the water at night to eat, and you could hear them fighting and making all sorts of noise. Lions would be roaring at nights. You kind of hear leopards. They're not super loud, but they do make sound. Hyenas. Man, it was cool. It was so cool. Like, I wish I could explain to you. Like, there's very few things that you think about every day after the experience. I mean, if you're a veteran, I imagine that's something comparable to it. I mean, having kids, that's comparable to it. But like an experience, I think about it every day. It was a lot of fun. Anytime I meet like a younger person, somewhat doesn't know what they want to do, I always like, how old are you? Do you want to go to Africa for a year or two? Like, oh, it's so cool. It is so cool. Well, everybody, thanks for watching the show today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, got to thank my sponsors, Forney and Fluidall. I was using a lot of Forney stuff today in the shop. I need to order more welding, cutting torch. What are those things called? The plasma cutter tips. Dang it. Keep forgetting to order those, because those would have made today a lot easier. But anyways, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Ask questions. It's a fun time of year. A lot of tractor work. Hopefully I can get out there, get some great videos. If there are any questions, just ask. I'll try to talk more about how we disc and rip. And our ripper's pretty cool. It goes pretty deep. A lot of guys don't rip, but we do. I think it's good for the soil. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up and share. Every little bit helps. See you later.